Now, there's this general belief around the world that China is the world technological superpower and is able to cut off supplies of pretty much everything to the rest of the world whenever it wants, and that is unmitigated bullshit.
China is becoming one of the world's most dominant superpowers. The country has grown from being an isolated and insular society to a global powerhouse that is challenging the U.S. for dominance in many areas. China has grown its international influence by investing heavily in other countries, especially those with emerging economies. China has invested billions of dollars in nations with weaker economies, such as Africa, South America, and Asia. These investments have given China a stronger foothold in these regions. In response, the U.S. government has taken action to limit China's growing economic power and protect its own interests. The U.S. knows that if it does not take action now, then China will continue to encroach on American markets and economic interests around the globe. From the short video clip shown, Peter Zeihan believes that China is nothing compared to the United States, especially when it comes to technological power. Do you think this is true? Let us know in the comment section. Well, Zeihan provided more evidence to back up his claim, and we'll show you more from the video clip as we continue. In this video, we will discuss how the United States is doing everything it can to limit China's economic dominance. Please watch, like, and share this video. Also, drop your comments and thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more related content similar to this. Without further ado, let's dive right in. We begin with a short clip of Peter Zeihan, a geopolitical analyst, author, and former analyst for the Austin-based geopolitical intelligence firm Stratfor.
There are three types of semiconductors. There's the high end that go into your cell phones, your servers, satellites, power management systems. Those exclusively come from places like Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and the United States. And contrary to, contrary to most people's beliefs, over half of all chips made in the world by value actually originate within the United States. And almost all of the chips that are manufactured in Taiwan are not designed there. They're also designed in the United States. So there's no danger whatsoever in the high end from a embargo sort of situation. Second, you have the mid-range chips that are in aerospace, automotive, and maybe the power control systems for your thermostat and your house. Those are Malaysia and Thailand, and those are also not made in China at all. What is going on with these new restrictions is the Chinese are now no longer able to import any of the chips of those two tiers unless they get a special dispensation. The third type of chips is your Internet of Things. Not your smartwatch, your dumb watch, like your little digital Casio watch, if you remember those. This is your digital calculator, perhaps. Your smart refrigerator that keeps track of your grocery list. Things like that. Those are, yes, almost exclusively made in China. Now, what Biden has done is not just say that the Chinese can't purchase the high and the mid-grade. They're also saying they can't purchase any of the equipment that's necessary to make the high and the mid-grade to make sure that they never move up to that quality step. And there are now increasing steps that the Chinese cannot buy the tools that are necessary to operate what equipment they have for the low grade. And we are very close to the Biden administration saying that the Chinese can't even import the equipment that they need to make the low grade, and they are incapable of making that themselves.
China is the new kid on the block in terms of economic dominance. The country has been getting richer and more powerful since the 1980s, but over the last 30 years the U.S. have been using every tactic it can to slow down the growth of China's economy. Just recently, according to a September post by Al Jazeera, the United States are considering options to impose sanctions on China from invading Taiwan. This is because they are trying to restrict some trade and investment with China in sensitive technologies like computer chips and telecoms equipment. Peter Zeihan also took time to discuss this, as he stated that one of the types of semiconductors, which is the high end that goes into our cell phones, satellites, and power management systems, are manufactured in Taiwan, but designed in the United States. He further said that the United States government has not only stopped the Chinese from purchasing the high-end mid-grade semiconductors, but they are also ensuring they can't purchase any of the necessary equipment to make the high-end mid-grade, and to make sure they never move up to that quality step. With a population of 1.4 billion people, China has several advantages that are likely to keep its economy thriving in coming years. With abundant natural resources, cheap labor, and proximity to developed markets such as Japan and Korea, China has been able to exploit these strengths and become an attractive destination for foreign investment. In fact, Chinese companies have also started investing abroad to take advantage of cheaper production costs outside their home country, leading both emerging and developed market economies to fear that China will expand its economic dominance even further. However, there are several reasons why this might not happen so easily. This is why the US is doing everything in its power to limit China's economic dominance. Here's another short clip from Peter Zeihan.
So, where does this take us? Well, assuming we have no interruptions to the supply chains for the materials, that's a different topic. We are looking at China perhaps being melon scooped out of all global semiconductors over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. And that's just the start of the Chinese problem, because the Chinese used to import the medium and the high quality products in order to build products and in order to do research. So I'm sure you've all heard about how the Chinese excel at things like hypersonics or artificial intelligence and automation. They do the brain work by using the high-end chips then putting in their own software. If you can't get the high-end chips, then those entire industries shrivel on the vine and go away. So more than anything that has happened in the world at this point, this new step of restrictions threaten to throw the Chinese into a technological winter, and any concerns you have about China in its rise can be killed just by that. And that's before you consider energy, or food, or political dysfunction, or the Ukraine war, or demographics, all of which are capable of killing China without any help from the others. So, we are now at the end of China's technological rise, and the question now is how fast is the fall?
During Donald Trump's tenure, the United States imposed tariffs on Chinese imports, and by encouraging other countries to do the same. The tariffs were followed by restrictions on China from being able to have access to high-tech U.S. products and foreign investments involving security concerns, according to a post by Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. The Trump administration has also been critical of China's unfair trade practices and has accused the Chinese government of manipulating its currency in order to make its exports more competitive and also for unfair commercial practices. Now, Joe Biden, the United States' current president, has also amplified these policies and implemented additional sanctions on China. The United States government has effortlessly been working to build up its own economy in order to be less reliant on China. The U.S. has been investing in infrastructure and manufacturing and has been working to attract more foreign investment. These efforts are intended to reduce the U.S. trade deficit with China and to help the U.S. compete with China on a more level playing field. Do you consider China to be a competitor to the United States? Or do you think that the United States should keep an eye out for other countries that may be a greater competitor? Kindly let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check this out.